Welcome back to History News. I'm your host, Ella Ganz. Today, we'll be going back to May 1773, when the Tea Act was passed. It is based off of when the Townshend Acts were repealed in April 1770, except for the tax on tea. You may be asking, what was the Tea Act? Well, that's a good question. The Tea Act took away the 3 pence that the British East India Company had to pay when they imported tea to the colonies. This made the company's tea very cheap, and no one can compete with their prices. The British East India Company had a monopoly, but not the game. A monopoly, per the Oxford Dictionary, is the exclusive possession or control of the supply or trade in a commodity or service. Let's interview some people to see how they feel about the Tea Act. Welcome a colonial merchant wanting to sell some tea.
Hello, it's great to be here, but I'm not so excited about the Tea Act. Sure, it's been hard on everyone besides the British East India Company right now. No one can compete with the company's prices, and a lot of tea businesses have failed. Even Dutch smugglers can't compete with the prices. Many people are protesting and boycotting because they believe that the cheaper tea is a Trojan horse that will let Parliament put more taxes on them. The protests are leading to British East India Company boats not getting to dock.
This is Frederick Lord North. He is the Prime Minister who passed the act.
Thanks for having me. I made the Tea Act because I thought people would like having cheap tea. Also, the British East India Company was losing a lot of money, and they are a very important part of the British economy. The company had tons of tea rotting in warehouses that needed to be sold. The Parliament and me passed the acts because Britain is very in debt because of the French and Indian War.
The people's anger against the Tea Act was a big part that led to the revolution. First was the Boston Tea Party in December 16, 1773. This was not a tea party, but when the Sons of Liberty dressed as Mohawk Native Americans and dumped 340 chests of tea in the Boston harbor. Parliament was so mad they passed intolerable acts. The first act closed the Boston ports. The second took away self-governing rights of Massachusetts. And the third act allowed trials to take place in Britain. This led to unfair trials. And the last was the Quartering Act. This made colonists house and feed British troops. All of this led to the American Revolution. This is the end of History News, and I hope to see you next time.